watching the risers? Come on, camera. You singing? You want to call Grandma? Okay. Hey, that's not nice. What's the matter? What is the reason for the meltdown you're currently having? Oh, are you melting down? You want to make eggs? I don't know if we have enough. Do you think we have enough eggs?
Yeah.
Let's check.
So the answer to your question is yes, we have enough eggs.
We have, and we haven't even checked today for any eggs.
What, these are 12, right?
Yeah, so
about
a
12.
dozen here,
This is
another
18.
dozen here, plus that. So 12, 12, and 2 more would be what? 12 and 12 is, do you know?
30 something?
24, plus
30.
2 more.
So 24, 26.
Good job.
So we have 26
Putting
eggs.
you on the spot. Look at these. Big old happy, come on camera, focus. Big old happy eggs.
Well, this is not
I like these
store
ones.
eggs,
We have
right?
one. No, this is all. This chicken has speckled eggs.
Oh,
See
yeah,
that?
because
I love the speckles.
She had hers.
Well, this is just a container.
Oh.
All right, you want to go ahead and make some eggs?
These are our chickens?
Yeah.
All of them? All 12?
Yeah, because our chickens decided to not be freeloaders and start
Oh, I didn't know we
giving
had
us
12.
eggs again. Okay, will
Remember, we
you
used to get, like,
go
20 eggs.
ahead and get the bowls and get this started?
Yeah.
Are you starving? Why are you picking your nose? You hungry? You got something up your nostril? Nah, 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 nah. You want to pinch my nose? I'm good. Cheese. Yes, child, stir the eggs. Sit down. Hey, sit before you fall and hurt yourself. Okay. Thank you. That's very sweet. Oh, yes. Sit down, please.
What?
You want some eggs?
Yeah.
Yep.
What eggs did you make today?
Not ours.
Come to find out, in that batch, there was a row left of store-bought eggs. So it's not actually our chicken eggs. They're sad, pale yellow eggs.
Taste, but it's very
Quiet, I said, Travis.
So you can like
Travis.
just fill it with salt.
Oh my goodness. Look at you, Miss Egg Maker.
I made the eggs.
You made the eggs.
Travis didn't help stir it all.
Oh, Travis did nothing.
Oh, wait a minute.
Thank goodness Lily was here to take care of everything. He's too busy looking up the definition for churlish.
I don't know what it means because I'm...
Bun's all riled up.
Mom,
Oh,
do I flip them over?
why are y'all sniffing your eggs, weirdos? Oh, you guys, come here, baby. Blow on them, they're hot.
I thought you said they didn't.
Hot. Put your hair in your face.
I told Travis. I told
Is that
Travis
good?
to stop being lazy and hurry up and start.
Blow on it.
Shh.
Stop putting salt everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
That good? Yeah. I'd say be quiet, huh? Y'all are being so loud.
He's putting salt in the eggs so
I
the salt will melt in his mouth. Those are the details he makes, and he's whispering under his breath. It's good.
Yeah.
Look at Olivia. She tastes the salt. She hates it.
You like candy.
See? Ah, she's trying
Hot.
to
Yes, blow
off
on
the
it.
salt. The hot salt. Travis, let
Is that better? Num num. No, you eat it. You're num nums. Hey everybody, welcome to our Wednesday. Obviously, eggs top priority. Oh, Jerry's not put away.
Oh, Jerry, come on.
Oops, hold
Jerry,
on.
stop down.
My brother-in-law moved here recently from California, and his dog, who is older, is not a fan of our male dog. Our dog's totally cool with him, but we are afraid that if the older dog tried to assert his dominance, that would cause our dog to be like, no, and we don't want him to get hurt. So, kind of forgot to put him away. Anyways, we are up and going this morning. Travis is getting his school done, and then I'll work with the girls. I don't really know what we have on the docket today, to be honest with y'all. I should probably be super productive and get all of this stuff done, but this is where it's so hard. The temperature has been so wacky and so weird. It's like beautiful 60s, gorgeous, and then we have this like massively windy day. It drops down and it's like a high of 40. And then in a few days it'll swing back up. So it's kind of one of those when like today's the windy, it's getting really cold, everything's dark and just nasty and gross outside. And so you kind of want to just like sit around and do nothing. But then we know that in a couple days it's going to be back up to being in the 60s. So I'm like, well, what if we just do nothing today and we wait for that. I thought about, we might get snow tomorrow. We've had like relatively no snow this week or this winter, which has been very, very weird for us. We're in North Carolina, so we don't get a ton, but we usually at least get a few good snows throughout the winter, and we've had like none. And also for us, since we've started the church, it's like Monday and Tuesday are kind of like slow days. They seem a little bit longer. Wednesday comes, we have Wednesday evening service. My husband does, he's going through a Bible prophecy series, and we do a prayer gathering. And then it's like Thursday and Friday go by super quick. Saturday, we have the YouTube live at noon. Then Sunday, we have the noon church service, and then the kids service, and then all of the things. And it's like as soon as Wednesday hits, it's super, super quick from here on out. So, I'm sure we'll have plenty. I was thinking about going down. We have a salvage yard near to us. And so I thought about going there to look and see some stuff they have. But it's also getting really cold and really windy, and everything's pretty much outdoors and in between different buildings. So I don't know if I really want to do that when it's cold. So maybe the kids and I will sit down and do some garden planning today. And I'll share with you guys what we're thinking about for our garden. Which you guys will end up seeing a lot of. And I'm having Travis, our 15-year-old, put his math skills to the test because I'm going to send him out with a measuring tape and have him work on some calculations with some of these projects and things around the property that need to get done. So that way we are actually accomplishing a project. He's working on his math skills and he's seeing how these things, relate in real life, and not just a problem on a paper, but real life figuring this stuff out. So I love as they are growing and learning these different home projects, I'm trying to make sure that I am including them more, budgeting and all of these real life skills. Some people have asked, what do you use for real life math and what like curriculum and programs? And honestly, I've looked for some, found some that are okay, including them in the things that I'm already doing. Hold on one second, yeah. I learned this with reading. I love Dr. Raymond and Dorothy Moore, Better Late Than Early. They have a whole series of successful homeschool family books and things like that. And one that, they talk about so often is just include, hold on guys, is just include them in the things that you're already doing. I find that's the easiest way. So let your kids get involved in the finances of the family, especially when they're older. This is how much we have. These are the bills, start teaching them how to set up an online account with the power company and balance a checkbook and go through all these different things. Keep up with your transactions on your debit card. Make sure stuff, balances out. Contact the bank when it doesn't. You finish your eggs? You want me to get these little bites that are left in here? So, especially with the kids getting older, including them in these different things, Travis, our teen specifically, getting him involved definitely helps. Okay, before we start school, I want your opinion. What are some things that you want to grow in our garden?
Strawberries.
Strawberries, okay, we can do strawberries. What else?
Apples.
Apples, we do have apple trees, okay.
And meatballs.
We can't grow meatballs, you goose.
You can.
Well, we can. No, okay. What else? Anything else? Fruits, vegetables? What do you like?
I'm trying grapes.
Grapes? Grapes would be fun.
Yeah, grapes are so yummy.
What else? Grapes, strawberries. What's the other thing you just said?
Eggs.
We already have eggs. What, baby?
We need
No, ma'am.
I'm trying to think of.
Apples, that was the other thing, but we already have apple trees. We just need to work on them so they can start producing. Grapes and strawberries are what you're going for, though, right?
And you go treat cheese.
You're just trying to think of goofy things now, aren't you? Yeah, okay. So this is the fun part of homeschooling multiples. Virginia is over here working on her letters and her sounds, and Olivia is standing next to her. Well, she was. Now she's doing bad things and climbing up to the counter. But she was standing by her and practicing her letters as well. Virginia did the same when she was little, and she would hang out while Lily and Travis did school, and she could count super high when she was just a toddler. I mean, she didn't know what it all meant, but that was the start of her being able to learn all these things, huh? What was the sound? Okay, now where does the k sound come from? So it's cool. They're doing the Moby Max still, and what it's doing is it's assessing where they're at and their understanding of all these different things and kind of moving them through the different modules, so that way we fill in any gaps, work on anything that we might be missing from this year. What are you doing?
I'm making everyone a peanut butter sandwich.
Thank you. Peanut butter sandwiches for everyone.
With no jam.
Thank you. Just peanut butter.
Yeah, this is yours with a lot of jam by accident. Ah, Missy, get over here.
She even got us water, Daddy. Look it. Lily made us all sandwiches. Thank you, Lily B, for your act of kindness. All right, Lily B, your turn. What would you like for us to grow in our garden?
Can you grow watermelons?
Mm-hmm.
For the summer. You know how much I
Watermelons?
love watermelons.
Okay.
Cupcakes. Can you grow cupcakes?
Can't grow cupcakes.
Oh, Mama.
What else? What's Gigi?
Can't you grow your own like spinach and stuff for homemade salads?
Spinach. And lettuce.
And carrots, because you know how I love my carrots. Some people think it's kind of weird, but I love having carrots in my salad. It's good.
That's good salad food.
It is.
I need little baby tomatoes, so we can grow like our own salad bar.
And we can make tomatoes.
Salad bar. What about our smoothie stuff? We can see. I don't know if we can grow everything, but
Strawberries. Bananas.
Ooh, that got really dark. I don't know if we can do bananas, but
you can't grow bananas, I think.
We'll go through our favorite things to put in our smoothies and see if we can grow them.
Well, spinach. We put spinach in.
Because we have to look for our area, like what can grow here with our weather.
Oh, yeah. In the summertime, it's great for planting, actually. You know how it's like really hot, but it rains sometimes? Like sometimes.
Anything else besides watermelon, spinach, lettuce, and carrots?
Cucumbers.
You want cucumbers?
I don't like cucumbers, but don't you like don't you like? I thought Pickle likes pickles in her salad.
You want to make pickles?
I know everyone likes pickles, but it's very.
Well, I'm just really picky, and I like Clausen pickles, so I don't know if I'd like our own pickles.
Gigi would like them. Her name is Pickle, okay? That is her
Chickens
name.
might like them.
Yes, chickens love pickles. Did you add tomatoes?
What's happening now? All right, anything else you can think of?
Did Gigi already do strawberries? Because I want to do strawberries.
Virginia did apples, strawberries, and grapes.
Oh, grapes? I didn't hear grapes. I heard meatballs, though.
Yeah, she asked if we could grow meatballs. Anything else? What about you? What do you want? You want a baby?
You want to grow a baby?
Ah, it keeps getting super dark.
I know, I don't know why.
You just light. Okay. Anything else?
No,
You think of?
I can't think of anything. I wanted to add
You're
strawberries.
supposed to be hanging out with Jen so we can get school done.
10-minute
I
baby
keep messing
hour.
up the lighting. Okay, there's games you can play. Something just came in the mail. It had, when we ordered it a few weeks back, it gave us this big window that it would be delivered within. So I kind of was like, it'll just get here when it gets here. Today's the day that it gets here, so let me show you. So when it came in, I knew it had to be it because it had this, and it comes from Biologic. We got it through Amazon, but this here is my pack of nematodes. I have been explaining this to Brandon, and I think he thinks I'm crazy, but looking for natural ways to deal with, ooh, look at all that firewood you got. Thank you, dear. But dealing with natural ways to try to keep fleas and yucky things out of our yard, I ordered this pack of nematodes. There's 5 million here in this.
5 million?
And these are these little creatures that you mix the nematodes, you mix them here, these little organisms here, with water, and you just spray it out with a garden sprayer all over your yard.
They're animals?
And these bugs will multiply and grow out in the yard, especially out where the dogs are, and they eat fleas and flea larvae and the grubs and all of the yucky little things that we don't want in our yard and we don't want coming in, and they eat them. So this no chemicals, no nastiness that we're having to put in our yard or on the dogs.
They're animals?
Yeah, they're little bugs.
I don't see the bugs there.
Because they're gonna grow and hatch and all of that. So anyways, we will mix them up in the sprayer, and I will spray them all over the yard. And we're not gonna name 5. You're gonna name 5 million nematodes.
Yep.
What are you gonna call them?
Brick, House, John, Alice.
So anyways, that's super duper exciting. Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
We'll just call them the Babylons. It's our Babylonian army that we're going to set forth into the yard.
Let me see the leader.
So anyways, I thought this is really super exciting. Does it
That's
have
the leader.
the instructions on here, or maybe it's just in the thing? But look, it does not harm beneficials, active close to soil surface, non-GMO native species, kills fleas and many other pests. Because living out in the country, we're constantly dealing with this stuff, and it drives me bananas. Drives me crazy. So yeah, you just add it to a sprayer and throw it out there, and pretty super cool. And I think it was $30 for 5 million. And we are going to, I'll show you know what? You didn't ask, but now I'm going to show you guys what we're doing. So when you first walk out of our door, oh, Potts, you're jumping on me. My brother's dog is out here. No, stop, get off of me. You're jumping on me. Get me all yucky. Stop. You're not listening. Anyways, when you first walk out of our door, this area all back here, we used to have fenced in for Virginia when we first moved here and she was little. The grass, this was all a lawn, and between the kids and the chickens and everything, and we have a lot more shade up over here because of all the trees. And so the grass that was here, it just died. It's awful. So now it's just a mud pit. So Travis, who is busy chopping firewood right now, he is going to come out here later, and he is going to measure off and find the square footage of this little area right here, because we're going to get some grass rolls. That was one of our things, one of our projects that we've got a very set amount of funds, and we've been trying to figure out what are the important things that we need to get taken care of. Fixing this grass is a big one. I have done seed. I've done so many things. I mean, unfortunately, so much wasted money, and between the kids and the chickens and all the stuff, I can never get it to grow. And so the rolls are what we're doing because we need to get this fixed. And so we're going to do the nematodes all over here because that's where the dog's line is, and Zoe plays and all of that. So we're going to do the nematodes up here to make sure that there's no nasty little fleas and other fun little pests that you get in the country especially. We're going to make sure that all of that is cleared out of here, since that's where they spend most of their time. We're going to lay down the grass rolls. Hopefully we can do this area here and this little area back here to fill it in and match it in with what's back there. That's why Travis has to calculate it so we can find out how much it's going to cost and make sure. Hopefully we can do it all. And then we're going to put some fencing up and fence in this area right here off of the door, so that way Olivia can just, especially in spring and summer, she can just open up, come out here and have a safe place that she can play and she can be outside. There will be grass here and she can enjoy and have fun doing all of that. So Lord willing, that is a plan, and that's what we are working on. Travis planted this little tree. I don't know if you guys saw in the vlog yesterday or day before, but we've got a backfield with a bunch of little trees that have popped up in the past couple of years, and so he took this one and brought it up over here and planted it. He wanted to plant a little tree. It's going to be a disaster in 5+ years when it really starts to grow, but he was really excited and proud of his tree he planted, so we're letting it do its thing. So anyways, that is the plan with the nematodes, but I'm gonna Google it. I'm not sure. It might be too cold with the next couple days to put the nematodes out, and I don't want to mess it up. So I'm gonna go pull up the research and double check and see. So it might be a couple days. They might have to hang out in the fridge for a couple days before we actually put our nematodes out. My husband was like, wait a second, so you are infecting us with more bugs to get rid of the bugs that you say are out in our yard? And I said, yes, that's exactly how it works. And he doesn't believe me. Pretty sure he thinks I'm crazy. And the more I tried to explain it to him, the more I was getting like the eye rolls and like, what are you doing? What? And I was like, can I spend $30? That's what I'm getting at. And he approved the spending of $30. I ordered the nematodes. I think it's going to be awesome, and I'm really excited about it because since when we lived in California, never had to deal with like fleas and ticks and things like that. Moved out to the East Coast, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're new to all of these things and trying to figure it out. And then especially being out here in the country with all the woods and the ticks and all of the things that we end up getting, got to figure that stuff out. Look at all the wood he got me. You guys, we were gifted a chainsaw. We live by our fireplace. And Travis, that handsome guy over there, getting food to feed the chickens. Your brother is handsome.
I said that. The same time you said.
Anyways, he is my firewood man. And so since it's going to be getting really cold today, possibly snowy tomorrow, he's getting me all hooked up so that way I'm ready to go. And he's got more even out there, right? A little bit more. Yeah, okay. So he brought in some good stuff. So anyways, all right. Travis, I am putting together the list of the things that we want to grow in our garden this year. Hello. My camera is not been doing well with the autofocusing, so I don't know what y'all are seeing. Anyways, anything specific that you would like for us to grow?
No.
There's nothing that you think that sounds good that you want to grow in the garden?
Grapes.
Okay, we got grapes. You guys are really into grapes. That's it? You just want to live off of grapes?
I don't like.
You don't like anything?
No, not really. I like oranges. Grapes,
Oh, broccoli! I forgot to tell you broccoli.
Broccoli?
I like broccoli a little bit. I know Trav loves broccoli and Dad does.
Okay. Broccoli. Where did my
Mom,
pencil
is a
go?
dog a person or
Who
a
stole
man?
my pencil? All right, you guys are getting me hiding in my bedroom while the baby is napping. Travis is done with his school. The girls did their school, and they're all just kind of hanging out. They tried playing outside for a little while, but you can tell that this cold front is moving in that's bringing the snow tomorrow because, I mean, we were outside yesterday in a t-shirt, bathing the dogs. It was cooler and overcast, but still we were out there doing it. And now it is getting so cold outside. So everybody went out and they played for a little while. They did a few things and now they're like, yeah, no, forget it. We're done. It's cold. And the wind it's pretty nasty. So I want to talk a little bit about our garden planning. We moved into this house. It's been 4 years now. Is that right? 3, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yeah, 4 years. This is the longest we have lived anywhere. This is our 16th home in 16 years of marriage. So this is the longest we've been anywhere, and nearly 16 years of marriage this year anyways. So we moved in here. When we first moved in, we were really super excited about all these awesome homesteady things we were going to do. We have 8 acres in the kind of like moving up into the mountains of Western North Carolina. We had always lived in the Charlotte area, kind of around the city. We were in Savannah, the Florida Keys, kind of all around. But being out here, I had all of these grand ideas. The problem was when we first moved here, we still had our business and we're working all the time. So I like prepped gardens a few times and different things. And then we would just have so much work being in the wedding industry. Events would get so hectic and I just could never keep up on anything. So we've had a few gardens that kind of just fell apart. And then this past year is when we were kind of wrapping up our wedding business. And so it was like I tried again and I put all this prep work and I was getting things ready. I have things planted around, but as far as like a big planned out garden, I had started planning some different stuff and putting stuff together. And to be honest, it was like with the start of the ministry and still wrapping up some weddings and juggling all of the things and 4th kid in tow and all of the stuff, it all just kind of fell apart on me. So this year I'm like, you know what? I am focused. I am dedicated. We are going to do this. It's going to be awesome. We're going to plan out a garden. So we already have, by where our chicken pen is, a flat area that I had cleared out to prep, and we've had some stuff growing before, but the plan is it's already cleared out. It has been for a couple of years. We've added a bunch of chicken manure and stuff onto it and some different compost that we have. And then I have a bunch of wood chips that we've had for the past year, little plus. So we're going to get those and cover the whole bed with that. I definitely believe in that like back to Eden style of gardening. So if you look that up, we're not doing it exactly, but you get the picture. So if you haven't looked it up before, definitely Google Paul here with Back to Eden. He's a wonderful man of the Lord, and seeing and learning from him, he's so much wisdom. He's from the Pacific Northwest, but still a lot of wisdom that we could gather from him. So we will be using a lot of that. So we have an area there. It gets a lot of sun. It's up close to the house. Again, we've got 8 acres, so there is a lot that we could like go out and do, but I'm trying to be realistic here. And I need something that is close to the house that I can easily get to. You know, garden, there's a lot of maintaining that has to be done. So I want something close by. We do have 4 established apple trees in one of our lower fields. Last year and the year before, when we first moved in, there was so much that was grown up over it. So we really had to clear a lot out of there, prune them back. It took them a little bit to kind of do that. Last year, a bunch of stuff grew back. My husband hurt himself. He couldn't work on the property anymore, yada, yada, yada. So we've got some upkeep type stuff to do to try to help our apples out. But what I'm doing as far as garden planning is planning to have everything up here with the plot that we already have ready. I also have some things I'm thinking of I might want to do on our hill that's right outside where I just showed you guys out in the yard. Might want to clear some of that stuff. It's just a bunch of nothingness really that grows on there, just odds and ends. So kind of clean some of that up, and there might be some things I want to do on the hill. I was thinking about doing some lavender, and they really need good drainage, and especially we've got a lot of clay content, and we get so much moisture that doing something on the hill usually will work better. So I was thinking about maybe doing a few rows of lavender up there. If it works out well, who knows, maybe we can grow that. And definitely looking into cottage industry. What are things that we can do as a family here at home that could, you know, maybe down the road produce a bit of side income as well. That's always something. I'm a very business-minded person, so that's a place where my mind usually runs to all of the time. I could think of 10 new businesses a day. But that's also an area where I have idol issues. So I try to keep myself in check. I am a recovering girl boss. And so I definitely pay a little extra attention to keep myself in line when it comes to that area. Always trusting in the Lord's will for what He would have us do. And it's not about my dreams and my desires. It's about the Lord and what He needs and how best I can serve Him. So, that being said, some of these things we're kind of throwing out there and onto our list to hopefully get to plant this year. I kind of have some wheels turning in the back of my head that we will be praying over through this process, and the lavender is one of them. So what I did as far as planning out our garden, this is essentially what I did last year as well, before everything kind of just went kaput on me, but we're doing it again. I asked each of the kids and my husband, you guys saw the kids' answers, what are some things that you want, right? Especially to get kids when your kids do not eat a lot of different vegetables and fruits and you want them to branch out in different things, growing it and being a part of that, I really think does make a huge difference. Wild onions grow all over our property and my kids will go and like pick them out of the ground and eat them because they're excited that it's growing here. Who does that? Okay. So there is something to actually growing it and producing it yourself that like causes people to be more adventurous eaters. It may take some time. It may come in little spurts, but it does happen. And so asking them, you know, the things that they're interested in is big for me. And then I've kind of gone through and just listed out the things that I have to purchase the most. What are the things that we buy the most of? If I could start growing them, there's our money savings right there. You have to remember that a lot of these things, especially when it comes to fruits or anything like that, anything from a tree, of course, but even like the bush fruits and things, a lot of times it takes a while for them to really get established. So there are things we could plant this year that maybe we'll get something from next year, but probably the year after that. So Lord willing, you know, our time that we have before His return, some of these things might take a while. So if I'm going to plant, you know, a bunch of, you know, raspberries or something this year, blueberries, you know, some things like that, I may get some grapes, especially, you know, the kids are really big on wanting grapes. Maybe we'll get some this year, probably be within the next couple of years that we're really going to start seeing stuff from that. So just remember that when you're doing that. But I sat down and I added to the list that I have here. I put down all the kids' things that they want, things that I know my husband likes, and then what is it that I buy the most of? So that was on my list of the things that they want, that they like. What do we buy the most of? I thought of a couple things also that I know are really easy to grow, that are great to help supplement in for the chickens. So things that my kids probably aren't going to eat a lot of. I really don't know how to cook with. Maybe we'll learn down the road, but I also know that these things would be really great to have lots and lots of so that we can help in supplementing our chicken feed. And then I also listed out some different things that I enjoy as tea that I would like to start growing and drying and having myself to use and to make tea. So the first thing too that you can do is pull up what your gardening zone is, right? We've all seen that USDA map with all the areas broken down. It takes where you live and assigns you a number. So that way when you're at the store and you're looking at different seeds or you're online looking for seeds, you can figure out what zone you're in. So what's going to give you, you know, when's the best time to plant, when's the best time to harvest, kind of give you an idea of that. It's done a lot of that work for you. So take the guesswork out of it. Find out what your zone is. You can go to garden.org and just type in your zip code and that will give you your specific zone. Sometimes, especially if you are on, sorry, I'm like sitting on my legs. That's not very comfortable now. Like for us, we're kind of in a funky area where like sometimes on the picture, I'm like, ooh, are we the light green or the medium green, right? Like you're trying to figure it out. And so being able to just put in your zip code, you get your exact code, you know exactly where you're at, makes it a lot easier. So just go to garden.org, type it in. We are in zone 7B. So I know when I am planning our stuff out and I'm at the store or looking online and looking at the different seeds, I even have a seed bank of some seeds that I've been saving that I already have that we'll be pulling from. But that way I can go through and really look at those and say, okay, where are we at? We're 7B. This is when we should plant. This is when, you know, yada, yada, whatever. Helps us to start pulling that together. Because the last thing you want to do is go out and do a bunch of work and then have a frost come through and kill everything, or do stuff too soon and just kind of mess it up, especially when most of us aren't used to being reliant upon our own food that we grow and harvest to keep ourselves, you know, alive. So a lot of these skills are just things that we really don't have anymore. So we've got to kind of pay attention, look into these things, kind of research them a little bit, and how does this work? And that's a great process. I love watching food production documentaries with the kids so that they see other people taking, you know, kind of these steps and going into these things. There's so many different vloggers that we love watching. Justin Rhodes, and it's so fun to watch because he's just up the road from us a little bit. So kind of seeing things they're doing and, you know, being able to look at what they're doing to what we can do here, just being down, they're up the mountain a little bit. We're just down from them. And he's here on YouTube. I think it's just the Justin Rhodes Show, RHODES. I think that's what it's under here on YouTube. Anyways, but being able to pull those things up and involve them in this process and learn about these things together really can be a fun experience to do. So Virginia really wants apples, strawberries, and grapes. Grapes were a big one. Strawberries I'm really excited about. Hold on, I need to adjust this. All right, I'm yakking at you guys for longer than I expected, so I can't sit like that any longer. I was just hiding in here because I had a phone call to taking care of some stuff for my mother-in-law. So I was like, while I'm in here, I might as well do this. Strawberries, I would love. Organic strawberries are so expensive. Trying to get them shipped in, you know, they're never the freshest quality. My kids, we use a lot of strawberries. So that would be a big one, to really do a lot of strawberries. And strawberries we probably won't do from seed. They're a lot more difficult, we have found, to do from seed. So we'll probably look into trying to get some that are already started from a local nursery. And sometimes getting on like Craigslist and Facebook, you can find other people in the area that have extras, or they're selling some, and you usually can get some really good deals that way too. And the kids are really into grapes. My husband also loves grapes, but he only wants organic grapes, and they're so hard to find. And when you can't find them, they're usually really, really expensive. So that was a big one everybody was pretty excited about. Lily wants watermelons. She loves watermelons. So watermelons, spinach, lettuce, carrots, and cucumbers. Travis added broccoli to his list. My husband loves cantaloupe, so we've got to grow some cantaloupe because he was like all about that. And then a lot of the things that were already on the list, everybody else was like, ooh yeah, lots of that. I definitely want different tomatoes, potatoes. We would love to do raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. So lots of berry patches, which I could live off of berries, so I'm all about that. We definitely want to put together kind of what are our favorite lettuces and greens and things that we love for our salads. So plant a salad bar, and then a smoothie bar, because we do our fruit and veggie smoothies. So things like celery would be a great one for our salad bar. A lot of the lettuces, kale, spinach, we put those things in there, and then a mixture of the berries would be great as well. I don't think we'd have any luck with banana trees where we are, but I guess we could always look into it. So putting together like our salad bar and our smoothie bar, we thought would be a really good idea. Again, what are the foods that we eat that we're usually buying that if we could grow would save us a ton of money? Those are the things we want to focus on. And then I want to have a tea garden. So the different teas that I really enjoy drinking, let's see if we can try to grow them ourselves. I looked up rooibos because I'm a big rooibos tea fan. It looks like it would be near impossible to grow, especially in our climate. It usually needs a hardiness of 9 or higher. We're only in 7B, and just kind of looking at the process to try to get that seems pretty difficult. So I think I'm gonna have to keep buying my rooibos, but I'd love to looking at clove, chamomile, ginger, elderberry, and hibiscus are all kind of on my list for that to look into being able to grow here. These are our wish list of things. So now we can sit down and do a little research. How much do these things cost? Will they work in our area? Where do they need to be? We already have a garden plot out in full sun. Maybe we need to have one on the other side of the house that gets a little more shade, so that way it isn't in direct sunlight. These are the things we're going to sit down and plan out. Got to have pumpkin. We'll look at different squashes and probably like some eggplant and different things like that. That'll be super easy for the chickens that we can throw out there and grow a bunch of. So those are kind of my wish list of things here that now we'll kind of work on putting together and planning out. I will also go through the stuff that I've already purchased and have to see what we already have on hand that we can hopefully go ahead and just get started. with having the thick bed of the wood chips, I'm thinking that we might not do the individual seed starters. You know, you can get the little beds and you put the seeds in and you put the little top on them. I'm thinking we might go straight to ground, wait a little bit longer and go straight to ground instead of starting the seeds and the little seed starters. I feel like I end up doing that, and then before I know it, something happens. The kids get into it, it gets forgotten outside or brought back in. You know, I feel like we just always end up having issues, and that's just an extra step that ends up becoming kind of crazy. So we might just go ahead and give them a nice, you know, nice warm bed of wood chips and just put them straight in the ground instead of starting them and then transplanting them. So that's my thought when it comes to that. I also am working on, I've got some new herbs I need to get started. Cilantro is a big one that we do. Rosemary, which I already have one rosemary going. So another thing of rosemary that we can get going. And some of those I like having, especially rosemary. I'd like to have a couple big bushes up by the house. I just love them. I love the way they smell. So get some of that going. Like I said, the lavender, I would like to do, a lot of lavender if I could. So we'll see. These are our preliminary things. So if you guys are gardening, I would love to know what you guys are planting, what you've had success or, you know, even some failure with, and different things that you're working in. What's your garden zone? Anybody else in the 7B area? You want to share any of your tips and tricks? We will have the garden bed. We've got to put fencing up around it because one of the chickens, because they would destroy it. But two, when we had it going before, we felt like we didn't see many creatures up around the house when we had planted before. But then we noticed, like, we'd be so excited, because we were growing watermelons, we'd be so excited. We're like, yay, look, we'd see the flower and then the water. So we would be so excited to see the fruit starting to grow, and then we'd go out the next day and it would be gone. So when we weren't looking, we found out later, deer and rabbits and different things were coming up and eating our stuff. So we will be putting a little fence up. We just have the rolls of like, it's not cattle fencing, but just the rolls of like livestock fencing or whatever that we had gotten years back. We've got a bunch down in the barn. So we'll just be kind of putting that up. It's not the prettiest fencing, but it does the job. So we will be putting fencing up to protect what we can. And hopefully the stuff that, you know, is out, like the rosemary, the lavender, things like that, will be left alone. But yeah, we will be putting fencing up to protect that. If you live in more of a suburban environment, I'm sure you probably don't have to worry about that as much, but out here we do. So fencing has to go up. That's all part of the projects for all of that. So anyways, those are the preliminary kind of initial wish list dream for our 2020 garden. And then I'm going to go see if I can track down my son, let him go outside, figure out the square footage that we need for that grass, and I guess check on my other kids and see what they're doing. What y'all doing?
Watching Garfield. And I watch it so much I'm becoming Garfield.
Thank you. Hey, would you girls like to come outside and help us measure some stuff?
No! I'm sure, but I know how to measure stuff.
Well, you just have to help hold it while Travis does it. Do you want to come help, or are you guys going to stay inside?
After
We're going out like right now.
I eat my taquitos.
Did you ever eat your grilled cheese sandwich that's in there? Why do you have no?
I just ate it. I did it, Mom.
Okay, so you're not coming? No?
Yes.
Okay, we're going out right now. That's what I'm saying. Are you coming? You guys need to turn that heater off. It is so warm in here. Your cheeks are like bright red.
No, they're not.
Yes, they
I
are.
haven't drank any water today, that's why.
You haven't drank any water?
I think a little bit.
You're hot.
I'm not hot.
Yes, you're hot.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
And I'm cold.
Let go.
I'm cold.
All right. Come on. Are you coming? Yes or no? Because we're going out right now. Okay, we're going out right now.
It's going to take a while when you guys are done.
Okay. That was fun.
Well, I'm going to be off here for a while.
Daddy said that the weather said 2 to 4 inches of snow. Okay. Dude.
2 to 4, those are not the same numbers.
2 to 4. They're giving us a range. Okay. Everybody stop and listen. You see, first we're going to measure this area here.
Is that the dogs
like
go?
to the tree. No, because we're going to put up the fencing around here for Olivia to have a place to run in. But all of this that's now just a mud pit needs to get repaired. So, Travis, how would we find out the area of this rectangle here? Like if we made a line from the end of the concrete there, back up to the hill, over, and down here. If we made this like one big area. Yes, length times width. Very good. Will give us the area. So I need you and Lily. Lily can help you. You need to start on one end, measure the length, and then measure the width. All right. Okay, the measuring tape is not a lightsaber. Boots, boots, hello. She just ran in the house with her muddy boots because her brother was chasing her with a lightsaber, aka measuring tape. Stop, please. Stop. We don't lock people out of the house.
You have your boots on now,
So, we have our measurements written down. He can now go inside, calculate what that square footage would be, and then if I think it's 200 square feet per roll of the grass, so then he can calculate down how much that would cost to get enough to do this entire area that I would like to have done. And then I can give him our budget and we can see if we can do it all or if we need to make compromises. And if we need to make compromises, where should we do that? So again, this process that normally I would just do and come out and configure all of these things, I'm trying to really be, I don't know, just be very, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. I had it in my head and now I lost it. But I am just trying to stop intentional. I'm trying to be intentional with these things. See, I'll get there. Trying to be intentional with these things. And instead of, like I said, this would take me a few minutes to come out, just throw all this stuff together. But I'm stopping saying, hey, this is a project that you can come out and do. I'm going to give you the project. I'm going to say, hey, here's what it is. Here's how much money we have. Here's how much space we ideally would like to fill. What can we do? Can we do this whole area? If we can't, where could we make adjustments and allowances to be able to get the most bang for our buck type of a thing? So that's what I'm going to go in and let him work on while we eat some lunch, because I think our lunch is finally warm. So we're going to go in and do that. My husband did just message me. They're calling now for us to get like up to 4 inches of snow tomorrow. So for North Carolina, that's exciting. It's still low compared to, we usually get at least a foot or two, you know, throughout the winter months. But this year when it's mid-February and you've had nothing but a dusting, 4 inches is exciting. So we shall see. Okay, so it looks like, through Travis's calculations, that the area that we need to do versus the budget we have like half of what we need. So it looks like it would take us about $180 to do the entire area, because it ended up being, what, about 1,200 square feet? Mm-hmm. So it was just under 1,200 square feet. It looks like we're gonna be $80 short. So looking at it and trying to figure out what seems like in theory would get us the bulk of the area that we really need to have taken care of, and then you know, maybe down the road we could try to finish it. But I think that would at least take care of our mud pit problem, which if this was a word problem he was figuring out, it would be written something like, Mom is sick and tired of mud getting tracked in the house. She needs 1,200 square feet of grass laid down so people stop tracking mud into the house. What can you do? That would essentially be the problem he just figured out. Here, just leave that sitting out. I'll use it. Thank you. So that, ta-da, stuff done. We'll get half of what we need anyways. But we'll make it work, right? Do with what you got, or make do without it, honestly. So that is that. Baby is still napping. Girls are just in there having a Garfield marathon. Everybody's gotten school pretty much done. Travis has a couple. You just have to do your independent reading. So he just has a couple things to get done. I'm really feeling like I should try to do something super duper productive. But at the same time, we're 2 episodes away from finishing The Story of Us on Amazon, which we've been loving. And then Travis wants to watch a series on Charlemagne. But we have 2 episodes left, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe we'll all just go in there and curl up by our electric fireplace and enjoy the last 2 episodes. We were kind of joking last night because we're like, no, what will happen with America? I don't know. But now this is branched off. Like, we have found some documentaries on the Dust Bowl and the Civil War and a few different things. And what's cool is when I was a kid, my aunt and uncle took me and my brothers to like most all of the big Civil War sites that we could get to in the South. I've been to Appomattox Courthouse and Vicksburg and so many different places. And so it's cool going and learning all this stuff with the kids, because I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, let me tell you about this and about that, and pulling up all these different things and looking at places that we could maybe potentially go and travel to and see. And so I love that through watching a series that kind of encompasses so many different things, it's really sparked that conversation with the kids. And now we're like, ooh, once we finish this, we can dig into this one and that one and this one. So anyways, we were having fun with that. So I'm thinking that the rest of our day might be a whole lot of us all curled up on the couch, like hanging out and watching this stuff and learning about it. So I think that's it for today. We know now that we can get half of the grass that we need, and hey, at least now we know. So thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. We're gonna go wrap this up. We got church tonight. You guys will have missed it if you're just seeing this tomorrow. So, you know, next Wednesday, come join us if you want. And otherwise, we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.